Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Happy New Year. So I thought I'd do another one of these Gran Turismo Legends episodes. I know you quite like the first one about the RX-7. So today we're going to be talking about another car which is, in my opinion, even more well known in the Gran Turismo community, and that is the Suzuki Escudo. Okay, so this car was bound to be featured. So like I said, it's arguably one of the most iconic cars in the Gran Turismo series, just because of its looks. You've got that massive spoiler at the back and that massive front splitter, but mainly because of its sheer speed. So let's go back in time a bit and get a brief history of this car, and let's see why it's so significant. So, starting with Gran Turismo 1. So the Suzuki was easily the fastest car in the game. It had 981 horsepower, nothing could match the acceleration or the top speed. So you'd have thought the aero would have slowed the top speed down a lot, but you got to remember that the physics weren't very accurate in this game. Now, moving on to Gran Turismo 2, despite there now being a lot more cars in the game, over 600, it still held the title of the fastest car in the game. And at this point, the Escudo was the king. It was the fastest car in both Gran Turismo games. Everyone knew about it, and everybody wanted to drive it due to it being so insane. Now, moving on to Gran Turismo 3. By this point, the car was actually a few years old, but it's still, barely anything could even challenge it. The only real competitors were some of the new Formula 1 cars from the 1980s and 90s. Now, while they did handle very well, the Escudo beat them on acceleration, top speed, and accessibility. You could buy the Escudo for 1 million credits, or you could win it from the Rally Championship, which wasn't actually that difficult. You could tune a standard Mitsubishi Evo, get a rally car, and then go and get it straight away. It would take you about 10 minutes. Whereas to get one of the Formula cars, you have to do all the licenses, then win one of those difficult races in the game, and then you have a 25% chance of winning it. So the Escudo still had its crown. With more and more cars being added to the Gran Turismo series, there were more competitors to the Escudo. By this point, the Escudo's bad handling and turbo lag had become apparent. There were Formula cars and race cars which were faster around the track, and although the Escudo still had unmatched acceleration, it wasn't the fastest on top speed anymore. There was, I think, the Minolta Toyota at 400 miles an hour. Looks like physics had caught up with the game. So the Escudo had lost its crown to the new LMP cars. It was always good on dirt. For GT5 and GT6, there were just cars that were just simply better, and the Escudo was almost sent into retirement. It was occasionally used for dirt, but there were better options. Ironically, one of these options was actually the Escudo replacement, which you can see on the screen. It was not included in Gran Turismo Sport, but it did make a return to GT7 in the June 2022 update, around 3 months after the game's released. Everyone, including myself, was excited to get back behind the wheel of this car. Now, there's actually not much competition to the Escudo. It's actually a useful car once again. Even with Gran Turismo 7's small car list, it easily gets overshadowed on the road. But on dirt, there's nothing like it. The only thing that comes remotely close is the Audi Quattro, and that only has half the horsepower. The second it launched back into GT7, it cemented itself as the king of the dirt, and later on it's now king of the snow. With all the upgrades and the ability to put dirt tyres on most of the cars in the game, I'm sure there will be at least one car that may be faster, but stock the Escudo is still the fastest. But there was some disappointment amongst the players though. First one was the top speed. Yes, gone are the days of the car doing 400 miles an hour. Now it'll only do around 205, but for a rally car with a massive spoiler, I still think that's pretty good. Now the problem was the physics were more accurate, and that hurt the car's performance. The second issue is the turbo lag. I must admit, this is a big issue for this car. It does prevent it from being used more. Because of the turbo boost pressure is actually so high, it does take a while to spin up, and with no anti-lag, you are stuck with it. The best advice I can give you is to accelerate early out of the corner, therefore increasing the pressure so you get the full boost just as you come out of the corner. It's a nice car to work with, being able to drive on all surfaces, still maintaining the insane acceleration. The handling is okay and the top speed is decent. You can fit any bigger turbo to get to 1100 horsepower, but it doesn't do that much in terms of performance, and it does have other negative effects on the car. There's some use for the 600pp Tokyo race and can be used in a neoclassical race, but it isn't really a car that's groundbreaking. It's a car I'll drive every once in a while to remind myself how good this car was and still is. Thank you for watching. I'll link a video in the description where they go a bit more in depth about this car, including the car that came before it and the cars that came after it. It is worth a watch if you want to do some extra reading, and that video did kind of inspire this one. Let me know what car you want to do next, and thanks for watching.